everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast, and we are getting ready for June. We've got some fun movies coming in June. We're going to be previewing them today on Hallmark Channel and Hallmark Movies and Mysteries, and maybe a bonus that we'll talk about. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Anne is here.
Hey, everybody.
Hi,
And
everyone. Aloha.
yes, we have a special guest today. A fellow podcaster, Camille from Hallmark Heartbeats, is here. And Camille, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for letting me join you guys.
Yeah, so why don't you introduce yourself to our audience and tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got started watching Hallmark movies.
Oh, God. Aloha. I feel like that's
Aloha.
a great beginning, especially considering the next month's movies have two in Hawaii. My name is Camille. I am a host of Hallmark Heartbeats podcast. That podcast has been going on now for a little over a year. Just like Hallmarkies podcast, I also do interviews and some movie reviews and stuff. I live in Hawaii, so I'm a paradise girl. And outside of, I've been a fan of Hallmark probably since 2018. I was just scrolling through the channels and happened to land on Hallmark Channel. I think the first movie that I remember watching was Tyler Hines and Taylor Cole movie,
Mm, Falling
Falling
for
for
You
Two,
or
I
something?
think.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and let's just say that I'm Tyler Hines obsessed. So yeah, it started my obsession with the man. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was it. It just happened to I just happened to flip the channels and landed on that movie and spent many it like pretty much binge watched Hallmark movies for a while and stuff until finally pandemic happened and I was like, oh, I like the movies, so let's do a podcast about it.
And you had already done a podcast before on The Resident,
Yes.
correct?
I host about another podcast and it's called The Resident Room Breakers. It's about the Fox medical show called The Resident, and we're kind of on a break right now. We haven't been podcasting in a couple months because my co-host wasn't feeling well.
Mm.
But yeah, we have talked. We've been doing that for about 2.5 years. We've talked to several of the stars of The Resident on that podcast as well. So yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of fun.
How'd you get interested in the idea of doing a podcast? Did you listen to podcasts?
Uh, no, actually, my co-host Kayla, she used to write reviews of The Resident for a website, and then she got sick. She couldn't keep up with the deadlines anymore, so she was like, I want to start a podcast. It would be, so it would be more like fluid with the deadlines. She could work whenever she wants to or whatever, and still, do the reviews of The Resident. And so she came on my Facebook group for The Resident and was like, hey, look, I'm thinking of starting a podcast. Who wants to join me or whatever? And I was like, I'm interested. That sounds cool. And so right then and there, we just like started like that weekend. And I remember the very first time that we recorded, it was weird hearing myself for the first time again. And I had to take notes of like, okay, I have to, you know, be careful with the pacing and make sure not to speak over each other and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was fun. This was like, 2.5 years ago, and now we've been doing it for a while, and so it's like we got our own
Mm-hmm.
jam, I guess.
When I first started, the very first thing that I podcast was about was covering the Star Wars movies, but before the Force Awakens had
Uh,
premiered, so that year. And we just did a Google Hangout, a live Google Hangout. So there was no editing, there was no, and it is pretty rough, but I'm still proud of them because you got to start somewhere.
Right.
yeah, I'm a huge Star Wars fan too, so
Oh
I would
yeah,
have liked to listen to that.
now I'll send you the playlist. It's still up. I don't take down anything because it's all part of the. I know some YouTubers that take down their early stuff or their early episodes. I don't. It's all part of the journey. And
I
so
That's
remember the very
right.
first interview that me and Kayla did on The Resident. We were talking to a guest star of the show. There was about the episode where they talked about black maternal death rates. Um, and one of the guy, I remember, it was weird because I I did the camera was facing out.
oh, did we lose you?
I didn't know until
Oh, there we go.
midway through the camera that my nobody could see me. It was
Mhm.
facing out, so I had to like invert the camera on my phone, and then finally they're like, "Oh, now we see you." I'm like, "Oh my god, how
Oh
embarrassing!"
no.
But luckily, it was all
Yeah.
audio, so nobody saw that at all. It was just the three
Hmm.
of us. So,
Which island do you live on?
Oahu,
Okay. I've been
yeah,
to I haven't been since 2011, but I love it there. I love
yeah.
Oahu. It's the best.
Hallmark seems to be doing a lot of movies now over here.
Mhm. The North Shore. Oh, my
Yeah,
favorite.
they have. Lacey
That's cool.
just announced that they're doing one now too.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I remember seeing that. Yeah. Well, and how we haven't had you on for a bit. How do you think that? What do you think of Hallmark so far, 2022? Do you think they've had a pretty good 2022, or not so good?
Mm.
We only have a couple
um,
movies to preview, so we'll
yeah,
talk.
I don't think it's been that good.
Hmm.
That's just my personal opinion. Like when I was looking at my ranking, I was like, only like the top few of these are like actually good. Everything
Hmm.
else is kind of like, or just really bad, or
Hmm.
just kind of very average. And I hate to say that. I don't want to say that. I really
Yeah.
hope that this group of movies is going to be better than what we've had the last couple months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
Yeah, the
yeah.
thought they
last
had a.
couple, the movies have been so so. We've hit highs. I believe we've hit some really good highs. You know,
Hmm.
but like
Yeah. I think that One Last Kiss and The Presence of Love. Those are the two that I thought were exceptional this year.
yeah,
Everything else has been like okay to not great for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I did
So.
like Rip in Time. Rip in Time was good.
Yeah. I
Like
mean, I
the
should add that I have not, at this point in time, I've only watched one movie from May. I am behind the recording of this episode, so I can't
I
really
li-
comment on May.
I love Now Matters a great actor, and
Hmm.
it's kind of hilarious watching him though, like speaking such a old English format kind of thing because it's not normal that we
Right.
see him in.
I look forward to watching that one. I haven't seen it just yet.
Yeah, but it's a pretty good movie. It's
I
a pretty good movie so far. The Hallmark movies have been, I don't know, not that good in my opinion.
It's
I did
just one
like
kiss. I don't know why I keep saying one last kiss. It's just one kiss. I don't know why I keep saying that name wrong. But I do think that's one of the best ones non Christmas they've ever made. That one
yeah.
was excellent.
That one's very good.
Hmm. Yeah. I would feel confident showing that really the presence of love and just one kiss. I would feel confident showing that to non Hallmark people. I think they
Mhm.
were both really solid.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Non-Hallmark people.
We'd like to take a second from this episode of the podcast to celebrate our sponsor of this episode, and that is the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast?
Do you want an inside scoop into what happens on the podcast?
Do you want early access to episodes and loads of cool perks?
Now is the time to become a patron of Hallmarkies podcast.
By becoming a patron, you get to access our patron Facebook group.
You can request episodes or even be a guest on the podcast.
And most importantly, any patron can join our monthly movie watch-alongs with stars like Paul Campbell, Natalie Hall, and more.
It's as low as $2 a month to join in and become a special part of the Hallmarkies family.
Please consider, and we will love you forever.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Well, I guess let's dive in talking about the June movies. They've gotten rid of June Brides, and now it's it's Summer Nights. And we have four movies, and then one on movies and mysteries, and then we have a bonus that we're going to talk about.
I feel like they should call this like destination June destinations, because a lot of these movies are set in like, Hawaii,
which
the Caribbean.
Summer Nights used to be in August, and that's when they would do the destination. Like they had the 2 Fiji movies, they had the Africa movie, the kind of a thing. But they decided to get rid of Brides and then move summer up. I don't know what I can't remember what they called August movies last year.
It was just Summer Nights Part 2.
Oh, Part 2. Okay.
Which is what I imagine that they're going to do again this year.
Okay, our first. We should say that you give it 1 to 5 seashells.
Oh, seashells. Okay.
Seashells. Okay. In your excitement, how good do you think it's going to be?
Okay.
All right. The first one's called Hidden Gems, and this is on the 4th of June. Hunter King and Bo Murchoff. I couldn't find the IMDb on this, and so I couldn't find the crew, the writers, directors, everything. But it's while prepping for her sister's wedding, Addie loses her grandmother's ring in the waters of Hawaii. She hires dive instructor Jack to search for her lost treasure. They immediately clash with each other when Addie insists she go on the pursuit with Jack. Once they come to an agreement, Jack ends up serving as Addie's tour guide of the island's hidden gems. And I have to say, the poster for this movie is so bad. I mean, I guess at least it's not a Tiny People poster like they were doing last year, but it's just like completely fake water, and then they have the two of them in full wetsuits up to their neck, which I just think only Hallmark would have. Because most movies, if you're gonna have a tropical setting, you have a girl in a bikini kind of thing. But in Hallmark, they don't do that. They've got to have the full wetsuit on.
Yeah, that's pretty fun. It looks pretty funny.
It's pretty bad. But
call me crazy. I'm just gonna put this out there as like a person from Hawaii. The whole hidden, I am terrified whenever they do any kind of these movies where they're like hidden gems or waterfall, magical waterfall or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that. There will be tourists coming here looking for these things, and us locals are going to be like, "What the heck are you talking about?"
You mean everybody's not out there with their metal detector things?
Oh God, it's already there. Waikiki, middle of the night. There's already metal detectors, people on the beach.
But Waikiki is always
you know what I mean?
Super crowded. Every time
there are these crazies who watch movies set in Hawaii or whatever, who will come and be like, "Oh, let's go! I want to go see where this was filmed, and I want to go see where this was filmed." That kind of thing. And we're like, no. I have to say, when I first moved to Hawaii, I was like, this was like, I was a fan of Baywatch Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking to myself, like, I need to go see lifeguards. And my dad was like, honey, it's not like the show.
So how did you end
Yeah.
up getting to Hawaii? So you weren't raised there.
No, I moved here in 2002.
Okay. So
But
why'd you end up there?
my dad was in the military. He got stationed here.
Oh,
Mm, yeah.
okay.
So I haven't seen anything with Hunter King or Bo Murchoff. I don't know if either of you are
I
familiar with
remember
them.
Hunter from Young and the Restless. She played
Mm,
like one of the, I think, Phyllis and Nick's daughter, Summer, I think. This was a
mm.
while ago, but yeah, she was on Young and the Restless. I've never heard of Bo Murchoff.
Have you heard of
Bo,
either of these, Anne?
yeah, Bo was I didn't end up watching all of it, but I watched like the first couple seasons. He was actually on Awkward with Nikki DeLoach.
Oh,
He was like the male, like, love interest lead kind of person on there. Or one of them. It was a love triangle thing going on. And then he just left. Been on Good Trouble on Freeform for the 3 seasons, and he just left that show.
okay.
So I like him. I think he does a good job. And I was surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be in a Hallmark movie. I don't know. I just wouldn't have pictured him doing it, but I think he could be a good fit.
Cool. Yeah, he looks pretty good. Looks pretty dreamy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I always give a certain degree of latitude, I guess, to these movies because I just love looking at Hawaii and the beach, and since
Yeah.
I live in this landlocked state, I miss the ocean so much. And both of you live near the ocean, so I'm so jealous.
Oh, yeah, I know. Now I do. It's weird.
Yeah. So the plot sounds fairly basic, but it'll come down to
It reminds me
chemistry,
of
I think.
Mm,
the
yeah.
Jill and Christopher movie.
Yeah,
Rolling
but that one had
Parrots.
like the treasure hunting element, whereas this is like they were following clues in the journal and every like that was kind of, whereas this is just looking for her ring.
Yeah. But
You know.
if it was just the grandmother's ring, why is he looking at all the other hidden gems of the island?
Yeah. It's just as he yeah, once they come to an agreement, Jack ends up serving as Addie's tour guide to the island's hidden gems.
Mm. How's that gonna happen? No, I think this sounds like it could be. I don't know. Yeah, we don't know the writer, so we're kind of like we don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it sounds like it could be cute.
Yeah. I'll be generous and give it 4 seashells. What do you think, Camille?
Me,
Of like how excited you are? 1 to 5.
two.
A
I'm
2.
sorry.
Okay.
It's just I don't know. The actor. The actors have not. I've never seen their work really, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't know. Out of the two Hawaiian movies, this is the one that I'm least excited about.
Mm-hmm. I
And
should deduct a point for the poster. Maybe deduct a
yeah, the
seashell.
poster was
How
just
terrible the poster
bad
was.
too.
It was really bad. But Anne, what about you?
I would say 3.5 seashells.
That's good.
Half a seashell.
All right. So then we have Caribbean Summer. It's on the 11th, and it's Heather Hemmons and Sir Darius Blaine. I hope I'm saying that name correct.
Mm-hmm.
Writers Kelly Bowie, who wrote Bottled with Love. So that should interest you, Anne.
Oh yeah.
I love that movie. That movie was great.
And director Stephen Monroe. And it's Jade, a morning news producer, is forced to take a vacation after an embarrassing gaffe during a live broadcast. She arrives to a relaxing Caribbean resort, but Jade's trip gets off to a rocky start thanks to a snafu involving the house she rented for her stay. Serendipitously, Jade manages to turn things around and begins a romantic Caribbean adventure with the legitimate owner of the house, a mysterious man named Ford. As Jade slowly lets her guard down and welcomes all that the island has, its people and her handsome host have to offer, her heart and job come into direct conflict when she finds out the true backstory of the man she's been falling for, and it's a career-defining scoop.
There's
Go
why
ahead.
are they like keeping? I feel like they're not telling you anything.
Yeah, they're
I
just
mean-
kind of vaguely describing everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
May
I
I-
mean, like, can we at least get one solid answer? Like, what is the snafu about her house?
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean, may I
obviously-
be so cursed that my employer, after I make an embarrassing gaffe on live television, forces me to go on a Caribbean vacation?
Yeah, like I will purposely do something if someone will, make me go on vacation. I will purposely embarrass myself. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, can I have that job?
Yeah.
What did she do on live television that got her a paid vacation in the Caribbean?
Yeah. I am a little over the whole kind of conflict of we live different places. Therefore we can't be in love. Like, I feel like that's such an easily solvable conflict that it just makes me
Yeah.
I
bored.
feel like it's the 21st century. Long distance relationships can work. We now
Yeah.
have Zoom. We now have like, video
Yeah.
calls or whatever. So I mean, it's like, why? I talked about this actually last year in one of my first podcasts about Hallmark, about how like Hallmark had a hated long distance relationships. Like one of the people have to move, and I'm sitting there going like, Hallmark, there's nothing wrong with a long distance relationship, especially if like they just met in 2
Right.
weeks.
And I mean, there's no human being that hates movie more than me. I just dread it. But if I met the man of my dreams, especially in the Caribbean, and it was like, I'd be like, okay, bye, I'm moving. What?
I know,
I
right?
mean,
If
and
she-
you just moved, so you can speak to this.
Yeah, I did. It was like they were, it's like you got to move to California for this job. It's like, okay, we got to go. So,
Yeah.
just had to do it.
Yeah. So there's some kind of rocky start that thanks to a snafu involving the house. So it sounds like that somehow, because they say that the adventure with the legitimate owner. So it sounds like there's an illegitimate owner, that maybe she was working with somebody and it turns out it's not actually his house or
yeah, she
something
probably-
like that.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
Or yeah,
Why would they say the legitimate owner?
Yeah, that's true.
There has to be a fake owner somewhere that she's working with, and then she probably gets there and sees he's there.
Mhm.
Kind of like Christmas Getaway,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
One Winter
yeah. That's what I
Weekend.
was thinking too. It's like maybe maybe she got double booked with somebody else,
Mhm.
or like what's that? Victor Webster and
Yeah, Hillary.
Oh,
Burton.
Summer
Hillary
Villa.
Burton movie
That's a good one.
where like his sister told her to go to the cabin or whatever, so he was there.
Hmm.
Kind
Yeah,
of thing. So,
but the summary writer went overboard on this one. A mysterious man named Ford.
I just wish they would have like been less vague.
I don't know. They told quite a bit. I'm fine with it, but the it's just kind of very poetic the way it's described. It's kind of funny. Serendipitously, Jane
Yeah.
manages to turn things around. I mean, it makes it sound like it is the worst things. She turns things around from having to go to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'd be so cursed. But yeah, I mean, Heather Hemmons is lovely. I think excited to have her part of the Hallmark family officially.
I love her in last year's Christmas movie with Luke McFarlane.
Yeah, that one was excellent. It was very well written.
Yeah.
And her co-star, Sir Darius, I've never heard of him. He's new.
Yeah, I've never heard of him either.
He's very handsome. So, I guess he's been in some movies. He's in Jumanji, both the Jumanji movies.
That's cool.
So that's interesting. Um, okay, so what do you think? How many seashells will you give it, Anne?
Ooh, I'm really excited. I love Heather. So Darius, he was in the show that I love that they canceled, The Big Leap. I love that show so much. And he had a big part. And I like
Oh,
him. So I really hope they have great chemistry. And this summary sounds so interesting. I really want to know, like, what's this embarrassing thing? And,
hmm
what's this, career defining scoop, and, all this stuff. I really want to know.
yeah.
I'm gonna say 4.5 seashells. I'm very excited.
hmm
And I love Bottle with Love is my favorite movie ever. So that writing makes me excited that that's the writer. So
Yeah. We aren't getting any trailers of set your DVRs now. Be there with Bottle with Love.
I too am excited
Um,
about this movie. I love. I'm a Heather fan. She's such a great actress, and I'm so glad that she signed a deal with Hallmark, so she's staying. More movies to come from her. So Darius, have never heard of him before, but he is cut. He is cute, so you know.
so,
And also Caribbean. I want is this Jamaica or is it like where in
mhm.
the Caribbean is this? But when I think Caribbean, I think how Stella got her groove back. So I'm excited.
Right. So, how many will you
I know
give?
it's not Hallmark, but I mean that's what it is.
Hmm
I would give this 4 seashells. I'm excited about this one. I want to know, like
Yeah.
you guys were saying earlier. I want to know what she did that got her a vacation.
Yeah. So I
What's
agree.
so
I think
terrible?
I give it 4 as well. All right. Then we have Mariah's Lighthouse, and this is Rochelle Lefevre and Luke McFarlane. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm probably butchering your name. Director Stefan Scaini and writers Paul Campbell and Terrence Cunningham.
Paul, love you.
Yes. It's based on the book series by Serena Miller. Mariah is a woodworking artisan living in a French seaside town who dreams of restoring the local lighthouse. When Ben, an American architect, comes to town, it seems as though her dreams will never become a reality after she learns he's there to give the lighthouse a makeover, but for another buyer. Dot dot dot.
So scandalous. Okay.
A lighthouse is a lighthouse. So, like, how much makeover can you get? It's still going to be a lighthouse, right?
Right. Good point.
I'm
I think
sorry. I'm just saying.
that's Rochelle Lefevre. I think is she on
Twilight.
Yeah,
oh,
Twilight's the only thing
Twilight.
I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, she
It's
was
like I know
on
I
Twilight
recognize
as
her.
Victoria in the
Yeah.
second movie. In the later movies, there was another actress, Bryce
Yeah.
Dallas Howard, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So she was in the original and then in New Moon. She's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think she probably have good chemistry with Luke.
I'm so
Uh,
excited. I get to see Luke. I love Luke. I'm a huge Luke fan.
yeah, he's fun. The plot sounds kind of I'm not that excited about this plot, but I don't know. What do you think, Anne?
I think it sounds like it could be good. The plot does sound a little bit boring. I'm not Luke's biggest fan, but I can see him as like a woodworking type. I think he could fit that really well. And yeah, is it set in France?
Yeah, it says a French seaside town.
Okay, yeah. So that sounds really like that could be really pretty.
Hmm
So yeah, I don't know. I'd probably give it 3 seashells
Yeah,
of
I think I'm
excitement.
3 too, as well. What do you think, Camille? What will you give it?
Ugh. Okay, so I love Luke. I love Paul. I'm excited. And Paul has written like gems, you know, so far. But I don't know about this one. I have since last year's movie with Chad Michael Murray and Ali Michalka or whatever, I have been iffy about seaside resort movies. Because I was excited about that one because of their names. So then, like, I got bored and I was like, oh my God,
Hmm.
this is the most boring movie.
Well, I mean,
So,
Chad Michael
I don't
Murray has
know.
been phoning it in these movies for a while. It's been a long time since he's been in one that was good, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
But I would say three. I'm excited because of the names attached to it, but I'm reserved
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Merch Store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies Merch Store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
So then the last one for Hallmark Channel is 2 Tickets to Paradise. This is Ashley Williams, Ryan Pavey, and Mary Margaret Humes, director Dustin Reichert, writers Tracy Andreen and Kevin Taft. Two strangers meet on what feels like the worst day of their lives. Hannah and Josh have both been stood up at the altar. While shocked and devastated, they happen to meet at the park, which turns out to be the morale boost they need to commit to taking their honeymoon vacations. They realize they are going to the same honeymoon resort and keep crossing paths in tropical paradise. Seeing the futility of fighting fate, Hannah and Josh eventually join forces and help learn from one another to enjoy their vacations.
Okay, I love this movie already. I love this movie already.
I love Tracy Andreen. She is such a great writer, so that increases my enthusiasm. I'm not convinced about this pairing. As much as I really enjoy both of them, I don't know. It feels like a weird mix to me.
Yeah.
The two of them. I don't know if they'll have chemistry for some reason. I don't know. And we haven't seen a trailer, so maybe I'll see the trailer and be like, "Oh my gosh, they're so great together." But that's my only hesitancy on this one. Is I don't feel like
Here's the thing,
he's usually.
I'm not that big of a Ryan fan. I feel like he's kind of stiff, and sometimes he's like when his acting is very stiff. With Ashley, she's more like alive kind of thing. So I'm hoping. I like you. I'm sort of like iffy about the pairing, but also at the same time, I hope that Ashley kind of like pulls something out of Ryan that I haven't seen yet.
Because I think Ryan is best when he's playing basically Darcy, when he's kind of
The rich white guy who
basically,
Or when the character is stiff. I mean,
Harvard.
yeah, and he does a good job with that. Like
Yeah.
he just good in like the Darcy movies, playing somebody royal, like the time basically like the Timeless Christmas. That was a perfect casting for him.
yeah.
Kind of old fashioned, and I think that's where his strength and Ashley, her strength is kind of free spirited and energetic and sweet. It just feels
Very
different.
opposite. Yes,
Yeah.
very, very opposite. Yeah.
But
So
I think that's why I'm excited about it because I want to see how. I feel like based on the plot line, this movie suits more Ashley's acting and
Mhm.
more of her the characters that she plays for Hallmark than does um, Ryan. But I also want to see if Ryan, if Ashley can pull something out of Ryan. Like, because, like I said, like you said, he's very I, how do I say this? Monotonous and
I
like
just think he's best at like Darcy. I really think that's
very
his cream. And
stiff.
so, but I like I said, Tracy Andreen is a very good writer. So if anyone can pull it off, it's her.
Yeah,
And so that
love
kind of gives me
Tracy.
hope. I'm going to give it a 3, but I hope it'll be a pleasant surprise. I don't know. What do you think, Anne?
Yeah, I just it could be a disaster or it
Mm-hmm.
could be great. I want it to be great. Like you said, Camille, I want Ashley and him to like have something that we haven't seen with him and so with someone else. I want that to happen. I can't picture it in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say 3 seashells.
Yeah.
This is
Do you
a
agree?
movie that I was excited to see once it was announced, and I have been following them. Um, when they were filming it or whatever, and I I'm excited about this. Like I like both Ash. I like Ashley a lot, and I like Ryan too. But I'd give this maybe a 3.5 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. I just love the plot line.
Mm-hmm.
But I am
Yeah.
like you. I hope that Ashley pulls something out of Ryan. I do. I really hope we get to see a new side of Ryan in this
Mm-hmm.
movie.
Yeah, I think the closest we got to sort of a new side of him might have been the don't break up one, the boot
Oh
Oh,
camp.
don't
yeah.
break you my heart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But next we have Color My World with Love, and this is on Hallmark Movies and Mysteries on the 12th. Lily D. Moore, Eric Durant, Benjamin Ayers, and David DeSankis. And it's
Yeah.
Kendall is a talented artist with Down syndrome who, thanks to the support of her mother and grandmother, Bev, is happy and thriving. Her life takes an exciting turn when she meets Brad in a cooking class at the local Center for Diverse Learners and Romance Blooms. Emma has spent the last 22 years trying to protect her daughter and has reservations about this new relationship, especially when it quickly moves in a serious direction. With the help of Nick, a longtime family friend of Brad's, Emma slowly accepts that Kendall is ready to and should live her own life. So, my only concern about this movie, it sounds very sweet. I'm looking forward to it. I have not been the biggest fan of Erica Durant in these movies, and particularly when she in the Brennan Elliott, Allison Sweeney movie at Christmas, I forget what it was called, when she was the
Open by
overprotective
Christmas.
mom. I thought she was really bad in that movie. I thought she was really cringe. And like the way she was treating her 14-year-old son about like perfectly reasonable things, like not wanting to get his picture taken with Santa, was just too much. She was just unhinged to me. I thought she was very annoying in that movie. And I thought she was kind of crazy in the North the Home movie. I found her. She's just not. I liked her in Smallville, but for some reason, these Hallmark movies, she's just really not working for me so far. And so that's my only concern. Her playing the overprotective mother again in this, I'm like, I don't know, but uh,
You and
um,
I have
Yeah.
totally different point of views of Erica.
yeah,
Like Open by Christmas, she stole the movie for me because I found Allison and Brendan boring in
I
that movie.
yeah, I thought she was just insufferable in it. I did not like it at all, and actually, she was the one that was having the baby in North the Home, right?
Yeah, she was the one
Yeah,
who
okay.
was
She was
pregnant.
still insufferable. I still didn't like her. And I don't know. I just don't like her playing this overprotective mom. She grates on my nerves. And so that's my concern
Wasn't she
about.
the older sister though in North to Home? So I feel like the fact that she was the older sister and their parents had died and everything, and like all the pressure was on her. Like I felt
uh,
like
yeah,
there was a reason.
I
I guess.
guess. I don't know. She annoyed me. and but especially I just did not like her in that Brendan Elliott movie. I thought she was just I was like, your son seems perfectly normal. Why are you behaving this way? Like you are just out of control. And so I'm a little nervous about that element of this movie. I think she could be very annoying. But it sounds really cute, except for that. Um, what do you think? What do you think, Anne?
Well, I'm excited that they're doing this movie. Something that they haven't done, a different kind of diversity they haven't, done before. And Lily D. Moore is Paxton's sister in Never Have I Ever, and I really enjoy her in that
Oh
show.
yeah.
And I think she does a great job. So I'm so glad that she got this job and that she's the lead in this movie. So I hope it'll be good writing and a good story for her to be able to do. And I was worried before. I Now that you're saying this, I remember you telling me this, Rachel. But I was worried before. I was like, this just sounds like they're going to go way overprotective mother, and it's going to drive me crazy. But if
Yeah.
she's already been there, then I'm like even more worried now that it's going to be insufferable.
Did you see that? You didn't see the Open to
I
Christmas?
didn't even watch it because y'all were saying like you didn't like it, and there's so many things to watch at Christmas. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, one less thing for me to watch. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna waste my time when most of y'all didn't like it. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I'm excited, but I'm definitely like I'm kind of worried that she's gonna just bring down the movie, possibly just by being so overprotective that it just brings the whole movie kind of down. But I hope it'll be really good and just meaningful and sweet and, something different we haven't seen, which I'm glad to see. So I guess I would say 3.5 seashells.
Yeah, I think that's a good score. I agree. I think I'd give it that. I mean, hopefully it won't be too like I don't know. Like sometimes you can have these can end up feeling like a disability of the week, kind of
Yeah. After school
inspirational.
special. Yeah.
It'll be sort of
Yeah.
cringe. That's my I'm a little bit worried about that, but hopefully they'll do a good job. What do you think, Camille?
It's probably the movie that's gonna take me out of my break. Like I'm gonna do this movie in June. But I have I'm excited about this movie for several reasons. One, I'm disabled. I Growing up there was not that many stories of disabled community finding love. So I'm excited that there's this. I hope and pray though that Lily and um, sorry, the other guy,
David?
David, their, that their characters' concentration is not just they have Down syndrome, but more like they they do this, they do this, they do this, and they have Down syndrome. Because a lot of times when it comes to the disabled community, um, their storylines is concentrated on just their disability. Like for example, Christmas Journey with Nick Sanchez. A lot of Marcus's character was his storyline was just that he had autism, and I'm sitting there going like, what? But I wish that we could see more of Marcus and his life and stuff like that. That is not just he's autistic. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Have you
Um,
did you ever see the Peanut Butter Falcon?
no, I haven't.
It's really good. It was a movie from a couple of years ago, feature film, not TV movie, but it's really good. It's got Shia LaBeouf and I can't think of there's an actor with Down syndrome. I can't think of his name. But anyway, it's kind of a road trip movie between the two of them. It's
Cool.
very well done. I highly recommend it. But yeah, it definitely can have a feeling of like they can sort of portray the person with a disability as like the most special person in the world, and then that can
Yeah,
feel patronizing. I mean,
but in
it's a
reality, we're
tricky
just
thing.
people like everybody else,
Yeah.
and you know. But
Hmm.
um, I I like Erica. I I'm also I would love to get the chance to talk to Lily or David. Um, just to because I got the chance to talk to Nick Wood last year, and that was fun.
Hmm.
I would love to get a chance to talk to Nick, Lily, or David.
Did you
But
ever
yeah,
watch?
this
Um,
movie is just one thing that to me I am most excited for because yeah, this is I'm gonna
did
cry.
you ever get to watch Christmas Ever After with Ali Stroker?
I did last
Yeah,
year.
That one
Yeah,
was so good.
it was so good. Yeah,
That one
and I
I
also
like
talked
that
to
one.
Ali's co-star, but I didn't get a
Oh yeah.
chance to talk to him about that movie. I forgot.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, we did that for one of our watch-alongs with the director Pat Kiley. We got to talk about it with him,
Yeah,
and that one's it's a really good one, and the disability is not a thing. It's just she's
Yeah.
just a person, as
Hmm.
it
yeah,
should be, of course. So yeah, I think 3.5 is a good score for this. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad they're making it. I just have a few little worries, but
yeah.
hopefully it
We
won't be.
we have hopes for this movie
You
to
know,
be good.
yeah. All right. The last movie I wanted to talk about is not on Hallmark Channel. It's on HBO Max. And we got a surprise, at least it was a surprise to me, trailer this month for a Father of the Bride remake that is going straight to HBO Max on June 16th. And me and Marissa Serafini have already done a podcast ranking there's actually been 4 Father of the Bride movies already. We had 2 with Elizabeth Taylor and Spencer Tracy in the 40s, and 2 with, of course, Steve Martin and Kimberly Williams
Yeah,
and Paisley. And so this is now another remake. But as far as I can tell, nobody from the Nancy Meyers era are involved with this remake at all. None of them have been posting about it on social media or anything like that.
Hmm.
So I think it's just a regular remake, and it's got Andy Garcia, Gloria Stefan, Adria Arona, and Isabella Merced, directed by Gaz Al-Rakai, and written by Matt Lopez. And it's a father's coming to grips with his daughter's upcoming wedding through the prism of multiple relationships within a big, sprawling Cuban American clan. So I don't know, Anne, did you have a chance to watch this trailer?
I haven't seen it. I
Oh,
know I
okay.
haven't seen the trailer.
Well, what do you think of the idea of a Father of the Bride remake?
I am all about, doing, as a person of color, I'm all about them doing like movies that were totally white and like remaking it with like some people
Mm-hmm.
who aren't white. Um, so I think the idea sounds really fun. And I have HBO Max, so I'll watch it and I hope it's really good. I remember I saw or Rachel, you were talking about how hot Andy Garcia is. Um, and for a man of his age, he's a handsome man. And so, that's just another reason to
Yeah,
tune in.
yeah.
But yeah, I look forward. I need
He's
to watch the trailer.
he's 66, and
Okay.
he was so swoon worthy in Book Club and in Mamma Mia too. He had like that double hit that year, and so that's when I fell in love with Andy Garcia. I'm a little concerned. Well, I'm a little concerned because the fact they're just putting it on HBO Max makes me
Mm,
a little nervous. But then
yeah.
also, they make clear in the trailer that Andy Garcia and Gloria Stefan are having problems, and they're like hiding the fact that they're getting divorced until
Mm.
after the
Oh,
wedding.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't really like that
Yeah.
because I don't know, I just like the fact that in the other 2 versions that I just love Diane Keaton and Steve Martin's marriage so much in that movie. I
Well,
think they have,
exactly. I
you
think
know,
that's like a big part of like what makes, that's like a big part of like what makes that
mhm,
movie. So I haven't seen that part, so I didn't know that. That's
yeah.
concerning to me. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, and they'll probably knowing the kind of movie it is, I'd be surprised if they don't end up making up somehow by the end of,
Yeah.
the movie or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I I do think that I mean, because already the Nancy Meyer ones were already a remake. There is something about rom coms that I think work with remakes better than almost any other genre because they're always
Mm.
trying to remake horror movies, they're always trying to remake, all these other genres, and it's usually awful. But for some reason, a lot of really great rom-coms are actually remakes. Like You've
Hmm.
Got Mail is a remake, Parent
Hmm.
Trap remake.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. And there's a lot that pay like heavy homage that are almost a remake, like Sleepless in Seattle or these kind of things. So I want to be hopeful. Um, So I think I'll give it 3 seashells. Camille, did you watch the trailer for this?
No,
Did you
I
see
don't
it?
have HBO. HBO
Oh,
Max.
okay.
But
Um,
I have seen some of the Father of the Bride movies. Usually, the Steve Martin ones is
mhm.
hilarious.
Yeah, I love those ones.
And I'm a big Andy Garcia and Gloria Estefan fan. Like, you know, 80s
Mhm.
millennials who grew up watching them. And Gloria, doing music and the Godfather movies and stuff like that. So I'm kind of excited to hear the cast list. I mean, that
Mhm.
sounds cool.
Yeah. Well, very good. Thank you so much, Camille, for coming on and talking with us. We appreciate it. And you'll have to, if you're listening, let us know what you think. What rating would you give to
Which
all of
movie
these
are
that
you
we?
most excited to watch?
Which one am I most excited to watch?
Yeah, this
Um,
June.
probably, probably Caribbean Summer is probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. What about
And
you, Anne?
Mine's actually the same. I'm most
Yeah,
excited about that
yeah.
one. Yeah. What about
So,
you?
Color of My World.
That's right. You said it's gonna
mhm.
take you off your break. Yep.
Yeah, probably.
So, Camille, how can people find you on social media and in your podcast?
I am on Instagram, Hallmark Heartbeats, on Facebook, Hallmark Heartbeats Podcast, as well as I started a TikTok page. If you guys want to follow that, it's also Hallmark Heartbeats. On Twitter, I am Hallmark Heartbeat1
Great.
because Heartbeats was too long.
All right.
Uh,
And what about you? How can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at awscott21.
Great. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews 5 stars for both of our podcasts, for Camille's and for us. We'd sure appreciate it. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that. And we also have our patron group where we have lots of fun activities, got some really fun stuff planned this summer. So please check out the Patreon. We would sure appreciate it. And then we also have the merch store, which has tons of fun Hallmark inspired merch. So take a look at that. And thanks so much, Camille. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you all
Had
later.
fun.
Bye, everyone.
Aloha.